Joining us on the Splash Live right now, we have from Oakland County Health Division, Chief Public Health Special Programs, Mark Hansell. Thank you so much for being here, Mark.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks.
Now, we want to kind of get into first, if you can explain the difference between the contamination advisory and actual closure. Are people still able to access the beach with the contamination advisory?
Yeah, it's kind of a loaded question and needs quite a bit of explanation. But the difference really is the advisory is very similar to a closure in which we have evidence to suggest that swimming in that water might expose you to some bacterial contamination that could lead to negative health consequences. Where a closure is, we have laboratory confirmed results to suggest that there is absolutely bacteria in that water at a level that is above the state uh, recreational water standard. And under our current Michigan public health law, we have to use that method to issue a closure where there's actually a bacterial count. The advisory is based on a different technology that we are still kind of piloting in a partnership with Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, as well as the United States Environmental Protection Agency.
Interesting. Okay. So I want to kind of get into it. First and foremost, just for clarification, both beaches are currently open as Ferndale Beach and Sylvan Lake and Grove Street Beach at Kegelhart. Both beaches are now currently open, to my understanding, correct?
Correct. Yeah,
Correct.
we have one current closure. I believe that current closure is in the city of Walled Lake is called Sugden Lake,
Okay.
and it is called the Oak Ridge Sub. It's a neighborhood beach that we had to close.
Okay, so I want to talk about how we get contamination in our local beaches. Can you just explain some of the common ways that we get contamination there?
Yeah, I tell you, the most common way in all of the years that we've been doing this kind of sampling of our lake water, especially swim areas, is where we do this particular program. It is kind of a heavy rain event has the ability to scour the surrounding landscape, and lakes being just naturally lower than the landscape, all of that runoff kind of goes into the lakes there. And we are looking for a bacteria that's called E. coli. And E. coli is a bacteria that is present in the gut of every warm blooded animal. So every squirrel and raccoon and chipmunk, and even
Ah.
birds like ducks and geese that that may be on the shore kind of gets washed into the water body there, and it gets detected as E. coli in our water samples. That's the most common way.
Okay.
And when we see chronic closures where it is closed for long periods of time or it's closed over and over and over, we are going to look for something that is even more serious than that, which could be maybe a sewer line break, or it could be a leaking septic system or something like that. In our experience, most commonly it is just a heavy rain event and it clears itself up within, a matter of, a day, maybe up to a week.
You bring up a very, very good point, by the way. Joining us, Oakland County Health Division, Chief Public Health for Special Programs, Mark Hansell. Since you say heavy rain usually causes that stormwater runoff, etc., we're experiencing heavy rain right now with the remnants of Hurricane Beryl. Can you talk about how this current heavy rainfall may affect some bacteria levels in our local beaches, and or how you may have additional testing with this rainfall we're having now?
Yes, for sure. We sample every week. So rain or shine, we're out there sampling, unless there's an issue at our lab or something that prevents us from sampling. But we are continuously looking for and sampling these swim areas. And if we do get a sample that shows that it's closed, we will continue to sample that beach every day until we can get it reopened, just to ensure that everyone is safe. So with this heavy rain, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a little bit of an uptick in the number of beaches that do get closed.
Right.
There have been rain events in the past that have led to, 15 plus beach closures. Now, keep in mind, in a single day. Now, keep in mind that we are sampling 100 beaches on 74 different lakes here in
Correct.
Oakland County for this summer. So, we don't want to close 15 beaches, but it's a relatively small percentage of the total number of beaches that are in operation in Oakland County.
Hmm.
Um, so hopefully, not every beach is going to be as susceptible to closure as potentially another beach. So it really has to do with the depth of the water, the temperature of the water, whether that beach area is exposed to sun and wind. Is there any current in that beach that kind of allows some
Mm,
flow through of the water across that beach? These are all different things that may keep one beach open in a heavy rain event, but another beach may get closed in a heavy rain event. So a lot of factors go into it. It's
right.
hard to predict for sure, but I would expect an uptick.
Okay. So what about us as residents right here in the greater West Bloomfield area? Is there anything that we can do to kind of help with the process or help prevent anything that happens with this at all?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of things we can do to help try to prevent contamination from entering into the water.
Yeah.
And E. coli, really, what we look for from a bacteria standpoint is really just an indicator. A lot of bacteria strains, E. coli strains, are completely harmless, but there are some that are more dangerous that can lead to, diarrhea, stomach cramps, occasionally a fever. But really, what it is, it's an indicator of fecal contamination, which means there could be even more dangerous bacteria, viruses, and parasites right there in the water. So the idea is we definitely want to prevent bacteria from getting into the water.
Right.
So, maintaining your septic system will certainly help. Being very limited and cautious about the amount of fertilizer even that you're using on your yards, that
Really?
that abut a lake system, that can lead to additional nutrients entering into the water, which can reduce the oxygen. It can, increase the potential for even an algae bloom. Algae too can produce, some algae can produce toxins and be very dangerous. So,
Oh,
limiting
wow.
fertilizer use along the lake is a very good idea. Cleaning up after your pet. That's a
Yes.
huge one.
Come on.
Just be careful with your dog waste. Take care of your dog waste,
Mm-hmm.
and don't use the lake as your kind of disposal area
Right.
for that kind of
Come on.
thing. So
Please don't.
just being vigilant.
Yes.
Some lake associations will even do geese roundups and things like that to try to limit the number of waterfowl,
Uh,
whether it's geese or swans or ducks. Definitely play a huge role in the potential for bacterial contamination in the lake.
Interesting, interesting. My last question for you, Mark, if you don't mind, since we know that bacterial levels rising and E. coli is so common, are there any long-term or permanent solutions that you all are possibly working on to try to, balance those or maintain and manage those bacterial levels in the lakes?
Well, one of the main things that we're doing is we try to get more and more protective, every year. And as technology, keeps going and we keep trying to harness the technology as it becomes available. And the one thing that we're doing is we will collect a sample today, but we won't have the result till tomorrow using what we
Right.
call a standard laboratory method. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a bacterial count. With the introduction of this qPCR, we call it, it detects bacterial DNA, specifically E. coli DNA, and we can get a result in 4 hours.
Mm,
So we are striving to increase our protection by giving people a warning more quickly. And those are those advisory signs that you were talking about. That
right.
method would allow us then to issue an advisory because that new DNA method of bacteria detection just it gives us a way more rapid result, and we're able to post quicker and get that information to our website.
Yeah.
Or Michigan's Beach Guard website is another very good one where you can see all of Michigan sampling.
There you go. And responding to it even faster is just as important as finding a solution. So we thank you so much again for your time. Once again, join us on the splash from Oakland County Health Division, Chief Public Health for Special Programs, Mark Hansell. Thank you again for your information also.
I very much appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.